Okay, welcome to the KastlePresence webinar. Thank you for taking time out of your day to sit with us this morning and learn about our latest technology. My name is Nikhil Shenoy. I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at Kastle Systems and have been helping develop the KastlePresence platform. So we'll go through a little bit today about what the platform is, but first, kind of why we're going through it right now, why now is the right time to adopt this, and why thousands of people have already started using it. And our goal always is to make spaces safer, smarter, and more convenient. So today I'm going to kind of go through three things. First is the macro trends of where we are today in terms of technology and the workplace. Then I'll talk to you a little bit about KastlePresence and what it means, what we're doing, the choices we made, and what it means for you. And then finally, I'll just go through the benefits and what it means to truly enhance your workplace and modernize the workplace experience for people in your building. So if you have questions, please enter them into the GoToWebinar chat session you see on the bottom there. If there's ever a problem, feel free to just put it in there and answer all questions at the end. So without further ado, let me introduce KastlePresence. So one of the most exciting things about this is that we actually launched it in end of January this year. We got some great press in the Washington Post in June, so I encourage you to visit the link you see on your screen now, or just Google KastlePresence Washington Post, and it'll be the first result. So very exciting that we have this out. You know, I know some people on the phone today might have been here on our previous webinar, so you'll see a lot of the same information. But since then, we've done quite a bit. We've got users in 30 cities, and we've analyzed tens of thousands of data points since then, and really kind of built, have the system going in the marketplace. For those of you with smartphones, which I think will be everybody, and we'll go through that in a second, you can actually go to your phone store and search for KastlePresence and download it today. You won't be able to register it because it is still a security app, but you can at least see that it's there and it's live. So without further ado, let me introduce you a little bit about who Kastle is for those that might not know. So Kastle Systems is a 40-year-old company and a pioneer in the managed access control space. In the 1970s, our founder, Gene Sandberg, was one of the first people to install and create a remotely monitored access control system using electronics. And today we have 37,000 tenants and 10,000 sites nationwide. We are very proud to be chosen by the leading security industry publication as the Systems Integrator of the Year for all security companies, and we're the reigning holder of that title. And you know, we're a very customer-centric organization. Every single employee at Kastle, their compensation is tied to our J.D. Power score, where we take quarterly surveys and get feedback from the marketplace on how we're doing. And that matters deeply to us because that's how we compare ourselves. Our goal isn't just to be the best security provider, it's to be the best service provider overall. And we hold ourselves to a really high standard when it comes to service. You know, over the past 4 years, we've invested a great deal of money into achieving market breakthroughs in both our base systems, which many of you are experiencing today, as well as what you're about to see in KastlePresence. So we have you know, a national presence anywhere in the United States, and we also have offices out in Australia. So with this legacy and kind of expertise that's been built up over the years, I'd like to present to you more about what's going on in the marketplace itself. So if you have a smartphone, believe it or not, I mean, something that doesn't occur to everybody is that you have the collected knowledge of mankind in your pocket right now. You can see the scores from last night. You can look at games from the 1980s, or you can, you know, look up a recipe for anything you want. And if you're ever making a bar bet like I have in my fantasy football draft tonight, you can do that from anywhere in the world. I'll be doing my draft remotely, which is kind of fun. So, you know, beyond that, I don't know whether, you know, I think this is pretty obvious, but mobile devices are totally indispensable to people. So, you know, on average, you check your phone 150 times a day. And, you know, over time, these are just growing in importance every day to businesses and individuals, right? I mean, it's the first real blurring of the line between work and personal, where people are doing more and more bring your own devices to work and kind of integrating their entire lives into their phones. So Gallup did a poll last year and estimated that 80% of all workers have a smartphone. But I would challenge that. In the survey that we've done at Kastle, we found that 97% of our customer base, which tends to be in kind of Class A facilities and workplaces and their tenants, we found that number to be closer to 97%. So, with that in mind, it's kind of clear that the phone can be the new key and a lot more. So we depend on our phones for more than just communication, to the point where I actually think that phone is a misnomer, right? I mean, phone is just another app on that device. Smartphones have become our go-to platform for business applications, our social lives, entertainment, and commerce activities. I mean, you can schedule a meeting in New York, if you're traveling there and visiting here from the Falls Church office. You can read reviews on the available hotels, book your room and your flight, generate a mobile boarding pass, and present that at the security line or at your gate, and all using the same device from anywhere. And then from the airplane while you're sitting there, I often check email. I might request an Uber if I didn't check a bag. I can also review my customer relationship software and ahead of my meeting and kind of get prepared on the way over. So all these things are just hyper convenient and right there. So it's only natural that the phone is a new key to something as simple as accessing physical spaces. So what is KastlePresence? So KastlePresence, as it says here, it's a smart office platform that we built on the latest in IoT, or Internet of Things technology. It's a very personalized suite of security and facility amenities that are built on a mobile platform for Apple and Android, and also includes Kastle's best-in-class access control system. So the foundational feature is hands-free access. An average Kastle card holder uses their card 18 times a day. And so with that in mind, and our kind of position as the holder of all that information about who's allowed to access what and when, that rich data that we've been collecting for decades is now going to express itself in this platform. So in addition to the hands-free access, which I'll show you a little bit more about, we offer personal security that, in the form of a panic button type of feature called an alert, that connects you to your building's response. And we also have new data insights delivered to your phone that will help you save time throughout your day. And it's these little efficiencies that are kind of a big deal in the IoT. So things that are mundane, like depositing a check, changing your thermostat, or keeping track of how many steps you take a day. I mean, just mentioning those things, you can think of all the billion-dollar inventions behind those, right? Uber, Nest, Fitbit. And they're attacking things that were once so mundane but save so much time and make a big difference. And so with that information and the actual application in mind, that's how we built KastlePresence. So I did mention a term just now, the Internet of Things, and not everyone is familiar on that. So we're all on the same page. Simply put, the Internet of Things, or IoT, is a concept of connecting any device with an on and off switch to each other, to the Internet, or to both. I'd love to say I claimed that, but that's straight from Wikipedia, which I found that on my phone. It's the idea that physical objects can communicate and take action based on real-world data from sensors, networks, or user input to have an impact on your day-to-day life. My favorite analogy for the Internet of Things today is kind of like electricity in the early 20th century. Right? You kind of could name all 5, maybe 6 appliances in your house, and you were super proud of your fridge and your microwave and your light switch that you had. But you could name them. Today, electricity is just everywhere, right? I would challenge you to name all the electrical devices in your room, because there are probably even some that you can't even see. The Internet of Things is kind of going the same way, where pretty much everything at some point is going to be connected, right? And Cisco estimated 50 billion things connected by 2020. So for those of you who have students who are freshmen entering college or high school this year, by the time they graduate, there will be 5 to 10 times as many connected devices as there are people on the earth. So again, like I mentioned, these things are already improving your life. So, it's more than just the form factor. like I said, it's about using the data as well. So Uber has applications that can maximize your route for traffic, and also has pooling technologies and is building capabilities on top of that platform to make your commute and the way you get around better. Similarly, Nest has features that, they actually save energy by giving you the information on the history of your usage, the ability to kind of remotely change it away if you forget to turn your thermostat off and you're gone for the day. You can do that. It also has automatic features. And these are things that go above and beyond what you have to do. The machine does certain things for you. And my favorite term for this that I heard is called auto-magical. Things are just automatically happening for you, and it's almost like magic. Like Amazon knows exactly when I'm about to run out of deodorant, and they put that on my front page, and it's just great. So, it's all these mundane things that are just very exciting. And part of Kastle is just the simple act of unlocking and walking through a door. It's personally pretty exciting for me. So how does this apply to the commercial real estate space? It's all about location awareness where you are right now. And this extends to retail, entertainment. You'll see all kinds of apps in schools and hotels. You can just walk straight to your door without ever going to the front desk in some places, right? So it's all kind of location aware and kind of bringing these services to the individual. So in the office place, imagine a world of automatic check-ins, destination dispatch elevator calls, and parking space reminders as you enter the lobby. There might be a building notification about food trucks that day, or a broken garage door that you might want to find out about as you come into the office rather than seeing the sticky note on the garage door itself. These little bits of information make the day more productive and will delight you and the people that you're responsible for in your facility. And so what you need is a platform that facilitates these conveniences in play. So what are those right technologies, and how does KastlePresence deliver them? The core enabler right now is Bluetooth Low Energy. We're at a point in the technology today where it's just available, and it's spread out. It's ubiquitous, right? It's highly democratized. Everybody's got Bluetooth. So Bluetooth is a wireless technology standard for exchanging data over short distances. You're all likely familiar with Bluetooth and the exercise of pairing a phone with a Jawbone wireless headset, or your car, or a wireless speaker, or some other, generally a media device. When you pair those devices, you've created a personal area network. So these things are connected through your phone, and then through your phone, they're connected to you. So now we're bringing that same concept to the workplace without the pairing. And Bluetooth Low Energy is the flavor of Bluetooth that enables that. So instead of pairing devices, it happens seamlessly with Bluetooth Low Energy. BLE, which is the acronym here for Bluetooth Low Energy, fills the need of connecting devices that are exchanging small bits of data using very little battery power, whereas traditional Bluetooth has been designed for streaming audio. When I think about the pairing of Bluetooth, it's almost like a first date. You're a little uncomfortable with each other, you might have some things in common, but then you start talking and it's great. Bluetooth Low Energy is more like speed dating. It's kind of short, high-value interactions, but then you move on to the next one, and it's a lot better that way. So this image here on the screen shows the three major concepts of KastlePresence infrastructure. So going from left to right, you'll see the BLE-enabled door reader marked ABC Company. This is one of our Kastle signature readers that we've enhanced with Bluetooth technology. So the second piece, coming from left to right, is our very, very handsome app. That's the KastlePresence app, right? That's the thing that the end user sees and is user visible. And then to the far right is the BLE beacon. So it's about the size of a deck of cards, and it's a relatively inexpensive wireless device that broadcasts a unique signal and indicates the location of where it is. So it's a network of these beacons and readers, right, the leftmost and rightmost things you see here, that enable the location awareness of KastlePresence. So one thing I want to point out about this is that I wanted to show all three things, but 99% of the time, we're able to have the phone in your pocket. So the app itself works kind of using a threading technology, kind of like your alarm clock, where it just has to be in your pocket, and using our own Kastle algorithms, we can tell when you're approaching a door, and it unlocks for you. That's why I call it hands-free access. We also have other modes of access and egress, which we're showing in this app, so you could tap the button as you approach the door to open it, or in some cases, if the reader is blinking, you hold your phone up to it to open it in certain spaces. But the point I'm trying to make is that the technology is there. We have full control over it because we control the entire system. We're not just an app provider. We're not just a reader provider, but we provide the entire infrastructure for you. And the best part is that the access control technologies can serve as a backbone for occupancy data generation. So having this infrastructure in place and supplementing traditional card readers with BLE readers, we enable users with the choice of using a traditional card or a mobile credential. So again, to kind of crystallize that point, just because you install the phone-based system doesn't mean your old card stopped working. KastlePresence will still work with your old technology, with a phone tag or key fob or card or anything you have. So kind of going into the readers a little bit, the BLE reader is really like a two-way beacon. It can both send and receive Bluetooth signals and react accordingly. A beacon, the reason it's called a beacon, kind of like a lighthouse or another, a beacon that you might see in an airport, is a one-way signal that just sends information, and then your phone interprets that information to kind of build a network and understand where it is. So again, the Kastle reader, that's this ABC company here, is a two-way beacon that can send and receive information from mobile app users to deliver a very personalized experience. Now, some people will wonder why we don't use NFC or near-field communication. I mean, there's two primary reasons why we settled on BLE rather than NFC. First of all, near-field is truly near-field, right? The communication range of NFC is limited to within 4 centimeters, so you still have to take your phone out of your pocket like a card and hold it right up against the reader. Bluetooth can be read from 50 meters away, and we have very precise control over how we can dial that back and forth. So it just enables us to have a great array of access experiences. The other thing is that NFC penetration in smartphones is still fairly limited. The iPhone 6 still represents Apple's initial support of NFC, but it's only really available for Apple Pay. BLE, though, is virtual on almost all current smartphones, including the Android. So kind of with that in mind, with what the technology is and what it's based on, what is it that exactly we deliver? And what exactly is it that we deliver? So these mobile devices, in harmony with the Bluetooth infrastructure you saw, the readers, beacons, connected systems, they can deliver a new understanding of who, when, and where a space is accessed. Right? So this unprecedented understanding can be leveraged by the building or office ecosystem, setting the foundation for digital amenities, new conveniences, and differentiated workspaces. Right? So again, it has this confluence of both data and technology and kind of modern needs is how we designed KastlePresence, and it addresses those needs. So the technologies have risen to the top of the stack right now because they're affordable, they're available across a whole range of mobile devices, it's interoperable. Bluetooth is kind of like English, with the standard communication language that's being adopted, and it's highly secure. So we have dynamic keys, so your key is used only once, ever. It's safer than a card for that reason. It also is linked to your profile in your Active Directory and also has your picture. Having your credential on your phone is safer in general because it's unlikely that you'll give your card to somebody, you give your phone to somebody and forget about it. Whereas a card, you can hand it off to someone and, it is what it is. So on top of that, we have cloud security that will protect your data on the back end. That we use today for our card technology, the same thing will apply for your Presence platform when it's installed in your space. The two other things that come up when we talk about the Presence package are battery friendliness and privacy. So from a battery perspective, we've got algorithms and technology in place that optimizes it for you to where it's a de minimis amount of use throughout your space, above and beyond the Bluetooth usage. And from a privacy perspective, we have and abide by an extremely strong set of rules that we have in place where we actually maintain the highest standards of privacy in the industry. So what are the key benefits for you as a facility manager or somebody who's in charge of a commercial space? The first and foremost thing that we pride ourselves on is being a security company. So we make your environment that much safer. The IoT platform can extend perimeter security all the way to the individual. So, as you can see here, imagine you work late and your car is one of the last vehicles in the parking garage where there's no cell service. Would you feel better if you could connect with the building security if you were startled by a noise? You could try to call 911, but again, that requires a mobile signal and you're in a garage. And if you do have a mobile signal and connect to 911, they'll have your GPS address, but then they get to the site and they have to figure out which floor you're on and kind of solve the mystery when they get there. And that could be a challenge. It's also possible that your garage has panic buttons, which are fantastic. However, they're still anonymous. The guard won't know who to be looking for, and they're only available at pre-specified locations where they've been installed. The alert that we've added to KastlePresence can be sent wherever you have BLE coverage, and extending that cost-effective technology to the garage is way better than having to enable it for a fully fledged cell phone service, which can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars per provider. Furthermore, even in your workspace or anywhere you have Bluetooth coverage, responders will know your exact location within the building, within the floor, and to your space. So instead of knowing that you're at 2345 Main Street, they'll know that you're at 2345 Main Street on the 3rd floor in the East Conference Room, right, when you initiate the signal. And on top of that, they'll know that you pushed the button. So the front desk person will know exactly who pushed it, and Kastle operators will be able to guide the process the whole way. So again, the IoT is all about that convenience and building more insights. Beyond security, we make your amenities smarter. Occupancy data only increases in value when you have meaningful participation by end users, right? And the reason why you get that and the app stickiness is derived by enhancing value at the individual level. And we see some clever approaches to delivering new conveniences for users. Amenity facilities play an important role in building differentiation and workplace differentiation. All the newest companies out in Silicon Valley will have things like ping pong tables and free orange juice that just make things better. They might be, innocuous, but there are things that kind of raise the bar of what people expect when they come to a place. Now, some of these amenities consume premium floor space and require ample capital outfit. So how can you ensure that those amenities get greater use? One approach to enhance your workspace is to allow users to take a quick look at activity levels in these shared spaces straight from their phone. And it empowers them to make a determination about whether it's a good time to go visit that shared space. So it might be a shared conference room or a computer room, or in this case here, a shared workout space. So any of those secured amenities, KastlePresence has the ability to help your user optimize their day. And kind of one thing that's interesting to think about, and makes me think twice before I do anything at work, really, is that 5 minutes a day over the course of a week adds up to half an hour, and over 50 weeks that you're in the office, right, give or take, that's 25 hours of savings from just saving 5 minutes a day. So, and that's basically 3 business days, right, which equates to 1.5 or a 2% increase in productivity just from 5 minutes a day. So kind of like, setting a thermostat or depositing a check, we believe, and I believe, that this is a breakthrough in how we manage our day by simply having a connection to our building. And so the biggest thing about Kastle, as many of you know, is a premium access control provider and managed security servicer. Mobile access is kind of the flagship feature of KastlePresence, and it's uncompromising security. So the awkward fumbling for an access card in the bottom of your bag or trying to get your wallet out within range of a card reader is being replaced by digital credentials on your phone. So a little convenience delivered as hands-free access for end users makes a big impact and a great first impression. So in a parking garage, if you have an arm that kind of blocks the traffic and makes it a forced stop, you no longer have to roll down your window and stick your nice suit out of the window. Without rolling down the window at all, you can use your phone to seamlessly enter the lot. So again, KastlePresence Access has many benefits over traditional cards. The way we've created Kastle, the way we've envisioned KastlePresence being rolled out is that includes unlimited credentials for you. So no matter how many people you add to the system, Kastle will grow with your business. We also added a photo ID on the phone for added security and increased personalization, because who doesn't like seeing their own picture in their phone? In addition, we have a cloud-based global system management so you can administer your system remotely through the app, including opening doors from anywhere in the world. So if you're accepting a late night delivery, you no longer have to log into your computer and what have you and click a button. It's right there on your phone, enabled with your fingerprint. And furthermore, for KastlePresence users, a single phone works across enabled sites and buildings. So if you have an office in Chicago and an office in New York and an office in DC and LA or what have you, and all those are Presence buildings or even Kastle buildings, your Kastle card or your KastlePresence phone can work across your entire space seamlessly. So you don't have to have a separate card for every office once you standardize on Kastle. So the marketplace, and having now installed this at dozens of sites across the country, we surveyed users and we found that, and trying to look for that next kind of breakthrough feature in KastlePresence. And the market told us 9 out of 10 people that we surveyed believe that active shooter is the next wave of the future. Now, Kastle's been developing an expertise in this area in terms of preparedness and reaction. And the design philosophy that we came down to after talking to experts is that you have about 8 to 10 minutes after realizing there's an active shooter before first responders can get to the scene in the appropriate size of response. So our goal is to save as many lives as possible and get as much information out to as many people as we can in those 8 to 10 minutes. So this is something that we are currently developing, and it is the future of building security. And we have demos in place, so I have contact information at the end of this. If you'd like an in-person demo of hands-free access, we have ways to show that to you in your office, as well as kind of, show you what an active shooter alert system might look like. So it's really exciting, right? Because over the years, as the platform grows, we're going to find the most relevant and hardest hitting ways to improve the commercial real estate marketplace and what people have in their office. So again, sticking to our original philosophy, we're making spaces safer, smarter, and more convenient for everyone. So I think I've covered the innovation quite a bit in these last 25 or 30 minutes or so. And there's all kinds of experiences and new services that are enabled by our network of Bluetooth readers, beacons, and mobile security credentials. KastlePresence redefines the modern workplace through building security from the outside of your building to where you are individually, enabling a faster, smarter emergency response, and on top of that, kind of building the next wave of features that will save lives in several situations, by having location-based awareness that makes the simplest things like opening a door more convenient for you and delivering new insights about where you work. So we're really excited to bring the smart office platform to the market with our users in 30 cities and growing every day. And we're really, it's a point of personal pride to help deliver something that really does make the workplace safer, smarter, and more convenient. So thanks again for taking time out of your day to listen to this presentation. I hope you learned something. And again, please email info@kastle.com or feel free to call me at 703-887-3199 anytime if you'd like a demo in your office, or if you'd like to visit Kastle and see it in action here along with all the other kind of gadgets and gizmos we have in prototypes going on. So with that, I'll turn to the chat room. See if there are any questions. Going once, going twice. Okay, well, thanks again for attending. And if you do have questions, you're just too shy to put them in the chat room, please give me a call. Thanks. Bye.